And now let's get brake pad changing. Exactly. Also, the weather hasn't helped. I've been trying to do this freaking video for like 3 or 4 weeks and I just hadn't had a chance. Fun stuff. Okay, so the starting point will be opening up the trunk. Second, we have to reach the brake fluid area, which in a Dodge Challenger is located underneath that cover right there. Now, once we reach this part, we're going to open it and we're going to use our old friends paper towels to cover this area right here around. So when we shrink the pressure of the brake pad, if brake fluid pulls out of here, it won't do any kind of spilling all over the cables and things. So okay, as you see, I just created a small ring of paper around. So now we're going to start by loosening the bolts of the tire before we lift up the car. So before you jack, you have to loosen up the bolts and then you can move forward once the car is up to pull them completely off. Now, in most cars, there will be a slot where you can see it pops up. So that's where you know your trusty jack should go. Now, the hand is the fastest way to do this part, at least until you get enough distance, high enough that he is holding the car. Now we start lifting up the car. Save it for my crappy work on this. Now, I like to put my tire under the car, so in any case of any problem where the tire could fall, the tire will suck in some of the impact. So, slipping it in. Okay, now we're going to have to release these, but this is double pressure, so it has one here and one right here, so you have to hold one while you twist the other one to get it released. So I'm going to use one of these keys, find the size and lock it right there. Now there is going to be one in this side and just one in the bottom, so you tie it up both, you grab them, hold one while you pull the other one, and you're out. You don't really need a lot of pressure because they're not extremely tightly pressed. And now, yeah, you see? Now it's loose. Now let's open it. And now it's loose. Now we're going to do the same in the bottom, and these will be released. So right after we have opened it, you see this piston right here. This piston is the one that actually makes pressure into it so the brake pads will close in. So this works with the brake fluid. That's why we open the cap on the hood, so if any of the brake fluid pulls out, because we're pressuring here, so it's going to be opposite pressure going up. Now, once you have opened up these, you do not want to be laying it down. So sometimes what I'll do is use one of these belts just to hold it up. So you grab it here, and of course later on you can cut it. Some people use just close and open up belts. You know, it will depend on who's working on it. In any case, this thing, we just play with it until it pulls out, and it's out. You do the other, same on the other side. Now, after you have cleaned up that, you need to, what I like to do is remove these. On both sides, so we can clean up all this dirtiness that has built up on it. You don't have to do it perfect, and it doesn't have to be amazingly well done, but after that we're actually going to add some anti-cyan, so it will avoid to build up more at one time. Even if it does, it will do very slowly. So after removing this, we will clean all this area, and of course also the clamp that holds the brake pads. So right here, this guide and this guide that is one on the top also are actually the ones holding the brake pads, right? So you have to clean this area and clean this area. I already started it before. So after you get rid of all the dust from here, you know, all the seizing out of here, we're going to use this. This is just Permatex, which I got in AutoZone, I think. And this anti-seize is this gray silverish looking thing that you have to put in this area and in this area. Now you do not have to add a lot, just enough so you will hold for a good amount of time, and you will avoid new buildups of rust and things. And now we're going to put this back right here, and ta-da! Now I know there are a bunch of different brands for doing this, and I just went to AutoZone to get this one, so you know, but it's because I'm not quite interested in making them last, you know, quite a big amount of time, because I'm planning to change the whole thing. Oh, okay, so now this is what I was telling you before about the new brake pads, and just in general brake pads. These kind of things now come with these pieces of metal right here and right here. These two are actually going to be able to touch the rotor once the brake pad has went all the way down, and that will give you that squeaking noise that you were hearing before. So that is just the announcement that, hey dude, time to change your brakes. Look at that, completely gone compared to these ones. So you see the same positioning on that. We're going to add some anti-seizing right here to reduce some friction. Not just a lot, just any bits. Some of them come without these protection here, depends on which brand you're using. I think Duralast comes actually with a piece of metal that contacts to it. And now we're going to squeeze it in, and in. And now we're set with new pads. So now that we have put the anti-seize, we're going to slide it in and close it. In and close. Because of this part, which actually is not present on the other side, but sometimes you will have something that is a barrier. In other ones, you just plug it right in. Like in the front side of this car, just pull it in and that's it. So always look at the way you're releasing it to put it back. And now we have brand new brake pads on it. Now you'll be wondering, okay, so what now? No. First, you do not talk like that because you're watching this video. Second, the answer is pretty simple. We're going to close this back. Again, we're going to brush it in a little bit. And there are different tools, and what I got here is not really the best tool for the job, but you know, it will do the job, I guess. I did it with this the last time. So we're going to do some pressure, release it. Now we work on through it, some pressure, there we go, release it. Then again some pressure, release it, some pressure, release it, and look, all the way into the area. Now with that done, we're going to plug it back, and that's it. Of course, now we have to put the screws back, but that is all the job that you actually require to do for this kind of job. So we get looking for the screw, let's lock it in, get the other one on the bottom, we have plug it right back, and now let's close it. Now it doesn't really matter which way you're closing it, so I'll just do the bottom and then I'll show you how it's being locked on the top. Now you just need it to be tight enough. Don't do overpressure on this one. And now we're going to the second one. So let's get locking. And done. Now time to close everything back and work in the other side, which I'm not going to show you, right? What for? Now, the same as we were before, you don't really want to tie it up the wheels. What you want to do is work one, just feel a little bit of pressure, same here, feel a little bit of pressure, feel a little bit of pressure, once again, a little bit of pressure. Now, I know how a lot of people like to work, but I work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to clean this up, make sure that nothing had spilled, and then cover the cup back, close it well. In this kind of scary car, just this cover here, and it's done. At least for this. Now let's say goodbye to hood. And now we get to celebrate without car squeezing. I'm feeling safe to brake again. Yes sir, now we're able to brake. No sounds.